Guy Torry is bringing Phat Tuesdays to downtown Detroit. The comedy event is known to have kicked off the careers of many well-known comedians.
And Torry is known for his work on BET's Comic View, Showtime at the Apollo, Kings of Comedy, and a whole lot more. The list is endless. He's here with us this morning to share more of that. First, Phat Tuesday show. Good to have you here with us.
Good to be here in cold Detroit on the first day of spring.
We apologize for the weather.
You underpacked.
Yes,
I
you
had no
did.
socks. I had to borrow a hat. Like I'm shaking.
Wait,
That's
you think
okay.
you're going to Miami?
I
No
know,
socks?
still very stylish. Tell us a little bit about the show.
Phat Tuesdays is a live comedy show. The documentary is on Amazon Prime right now, streaming very well, about a comedy that I created back in 1995 to showcase black comedians. So I've been taking it on the road. And Detroit is one of those cities where a lot of funny comedians here. I got my first standing ovation here in Detroit in '94 at the Fox Theater Def Comedy Jam Tour. So this is one of those cities that I love to play in, and I want to showcase this good talent in Detroit.
Yeah, something you always remember, obviously, that first standing ovation, like you said. I mean, that's 30 years ago, and you remember it like that.
Oh, yeah.
So glad this city provided you with that thrill. Now, tell us about some of the comedians that have gotten their start through Phat Tuesdays.
Yeah, Phat Tuesdays, man, was at the Comedy Store on Sunset in L.A., and we talking Kevin Hart, Nick Cannon.
A few big names there.
Yeah.
Just a few names that came through Phat
I've heard of
Tuesdays.
those.
Cedric, he was already on his way, Cedric the Entertainer, but he'd come through Phat Tuesdays. My brother Joe Torry, who was already established, but they came through Phat Tuesdays. Chris Tucker, you know, Mike Epps. So a lot of those guys started at Phat Tuesdays. Yeah.
So give us a little insight into the show itself. Obviously, you can't tell us, right? You can't reveal secrets.
It's uncut, unplugged, unapologetic. Phat Tuesdays' motto was always to have, you know, up-and-coming comics, always at least one, you know, female comic, because it's so hard for females to get on stage without quid pro quo. But Phat Tuesdays was like welcome everybody, and some seasoned veterans. So it's a mixture of comedians that's come together and make. And then being cold, we're gonna warm things up a little bit.
All right, I'd like to hear that. Talk a little bit about how, you know, with streaming services taking off, especially in the last decade, how that has affected comedy. Has it helped it a lot? I mean, I know I see a lot more comedy specials just because there's a lot more, you know, venues when I go on to TV.
Right. You know, specials aren't really special anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Back in the day, you said a
regulars.
special was special, but now it's like everybody has one. So it's hard you have to really find, you know, what's going to make yours special. What's going to make yours stand out from all the other specials that are out there. You can get them anywhere now. You can get them on your phone, on YouTube.
Yep.
But we got to bring special. We got to make special again.
You know, you mentioned that standing ovation back in the day, right?
Yeah.
How do you find Detroit audiences?
I love it because it reminds me of St. Louis, where I grew up. It reminds me of Cleveland and Baltimore and Memphis. Those cities are blue-collar towns. People want to laugh. People need to laugh. They work all day. It's rough in the streets sometimes, so they need this laughter. But Detroit, if you make them laugh, they don't give up laughs easy in Detroit.
You got to earn it.
You got to work for
earn
it.
And that's why I love cities like Detroit.
Hey, talk about when you were growing up, some of the people you looked up to, or even when you got into the business at first. Who are some of the comedy, maybe legends you took, you know, kind of a shine to?
Yeah, well, Def Comedy Jam was the key that started the engine for me. You know, watching Martin Lawrence, my brother on Def Comedy Jam, Eddie Griffin, you know, Cedric the Entertainer. Those are the people I looked up to. But once I got into the game, then I started studying Richard Pryor and Moms Mabley and what's my man, George Carlin, and pre-pill Bill Cosby, and you know, I started studying the greats.
Yeah.
Lenny Bruce. I mean, you know.
So you went all the way back.
You have to. You have to study whatever craft you're in. You have to study the history of it and know where it was, where it is, and where it's going.
Yeah. Talk about where it's going. What is the shape of comedy right now, and the way audiences are receiving comedy? Have you had to change your game, or do you just stay on the same road, and if people like it, they like you, and if they don't like you, hey, see you later?
Well, the state of black comedy right now is in a little bit of turmoil right now. Cat Williams,
well, Cat Williams
kind of set things on fire.
Yeah.
But the state of comedy is the cancel culture thing is crazy to me. It's like, you know, comics, we have free speech. And you say what you're going to say. I can't believe in canceling someone who's been in their career 30 plus years, do things in the community, employ a lot of people, and for one misstep, you want to cancel their whole career like that. To me, that's just foul. So I still say freedom of speech, and, you know, you speak first and ask questions later.
And you've rubbed elbows, I mean, with some greats. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Give us your top three.
Oh, man.
Top three favorites.
Eddie Murphy.
Boom.
Worked with Eddie Murphy in life. Martin Lawrence, worked with him in life. And I would have to say, didn't act with him, but was able to produce a show for him, Magic Johnson.
That's
All
incredible.
right, that's a great list.
That's a pretty big list,
That
and
is impressive.
you know, Detroit connection there with Magic Johnson. Well, Lansing
exactly.
connection for sure. Martin Lawrence, underrated
Detroit
movie.
as well. His show was based in Detroit.
That's right.
I
Underrated
wrote for
movie.
the show. Yeah.
Big Mama's House, one of my favorites.
I love
You
it.
know,
That's
I
a
know
good one.
it's hard to admit, but
That
you know,
is a good
always
one.
crack me up. All right, give us the details once again. Where can people see Phat Tuesdays?
Phat Tuesdays is on Amazon Prime, but tonight it's at One Mic downtown the Comedy Club, and it's going to be uncut, unplugged, and unbelievable.
8 o'clock, the show tonight.
Yes.
Have
Some
a good
great
one.
comedians on the show, too.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for
Really
having me.
appreciate it.